MusiCares is the charity of the Recording Academy, and we provide critical assistance to the professional music community. Given all of these losses that we have experienced over the past few years, there are more and more musicians who are willing to talk about their mental health, willing to talk about the struggles, the toll that this industry takes on them. You have been incredibly open about some of these struggles. You wrote a beautiful post last year, and I'm wondering if you can now really launch into what I'm going to say mental health. I know you're going to change that word. What is mental health to you, and what has happened to you over the course of your career?
I'd made the wrong choice of internalizing my stress, and about a year and a half ago, I was ready to basically leave music. I saw music at this point as the source of all of my pain. So for me, the solution would be, okay, I'm going to quit the band. Quite quickly, I realized, that's not the way that I can keep going. The way for me to go forward is actually to look at, what led to this point. How can I actually learn from this? How can I go on? And I ended up then, at this point, going to do this thing called the Hoffman Process in the UK. They actually helped me in a group therapy setting to really find the reasons why I burned out. And I realized that a lot of other people burn out too. I'm not unique in any way. I've been able to really look at what causes me stress, and I've refound my love for music. I've really realized how supportive, John and Tony have been in the band as I've been going through all this. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I'm in such good hands. We've got amazing fans. We've got a great management. We've got a great team in the band.
We have this romanticized notion of the tortured artist, and that the creativity comes from that place of torture. Why does one have to be suffering in order to produce complex, vivid, rich music? And that is a myth that we need to debunk. I feel like a lot of people buy into this.
I actually think that what it comes down to is for just people, finding out how they can connect with their emotional side or get to that creative, childlike state. Some people, it only happens when you're really tortured and everything. But I think there are a lot of techniques that one can do to get there. Because at least for myself, I found that if I feel pressure or if I'm stressed, I'm less creative.
Let's shift a little bit to touring. There's the time change, there's lack of sleep, there's extensive travel, there's being away from friends and family, being in a new place every other day. How do you find stability on the road?
I think sleep is very, very important for mental health. We are nowadays really trying to organize our touring so that we'd have proper windows of sleep. And we are planning for sleep because we're really seeing the importance of it. Mm-hmm. And one of the other things that all musicians go through is anxiety or some sort of nervousness before gigs. And there's often a real high during shows, mm-hmm. And there's often a downer and loneliness afterwards.
Right.
And for all of this, we can make things a lot worse for ourselves by not being physically fit, not being mentally fit. We always talk about mental health, and for me, that sort of suggests that there's, you're either mentally healthy or you're mentally unhealthy, or that you're ill somehow. Whereas, in my opinion, we're all somewhere on this mental fitness scale. There are many things that we can do to be more mentally fit. But I would like to almost relabel it to mental fitness, because I also like the idea that the more mentally fit we are, the better times we can have.
What do you think the music industry needs to do in order to better address, say, we need to talk to people if you're having a problem?
I'm a real believer in just good conversation. I think just doing more things like this, finding a sort of positive and encouraging way to talk about these things in today's social media world, it's very easy to think that everybody else is doing so great because look at their pictures on Instagram and
Everybody's so happy.
yeah, and everybody's more successful than you, and like everything is going better for everybody else. So if you're feeling down, the last thing you'd want to do is pull other people down. So there's a tendency for some people to then internalize and think like, my struggles are so bad that I shouldn't really talk about it to anybody because I'm going to bring them down. You know, if something is difficult for you or you're having a challenging time, just by you talking to somebody else about it gives them the opportunity to talk about their struggles. And I also think that, you know, there's another point, which is when people totally lose hope that anything could ever get better. And at those points, if we could somehow get that message to those people, that again, you're not alone. People have felt that low. You know, people have felt like they're totally alone and their struggle is so immense that no one could ever understand. But probably at that very point, there are probably another 10,000 people around the world having those exact same thoughts. And maybe through technology, we can bring those people together somehow.
What's up, y'all? This is B.O.B.
This is G-Eazy.
I'm Mo. This is Julia Michaels.
This is Logic. Make sure you subscribe to the Recording Academy channel. Flex.